Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about some of my favorites from 2024 and then my priority books for 2025. I want to preface this by saying that 2024 was really the year of queer medieval books for me. I read and loved a couple of YA ones, and I know that's something that I'm going to be looking forward to in 2025. So starting off with the first one that I read in 2024, this is Gwen and Art Are Not in Love by Lex Croucher. This one has gone on to win a couple of young adult book awards, which it is totally deserving of. I was laughing out loud reading this one. I was smiling. I just really enjoyed this one, and as you can see, we'll be reading whatever else this author comes out with. So Gwen and Art Are Not in Love follows Gwen and Art, short for Arthur, though it's nothing like the legends that we know. Gwen is actually falling for a woman knight named Bridget, and Arthur likes to kiss boys, but of course they're trying to pair Gwen and Art together, but they know that they don't belong with each other. So we get to see them grow and develop relationships. I loved all of the friendships in this one. It's just a lot of fun. It says on the cover here, Casey McQuiston blurbed it saying a total rollicking delight, and it is. And also this cover, it is so cute and a perfect pick for what's coming up, which is Valentine's Day. I definitely recommend this one. And then another one I read and really enjoyed in 2024 was The New Camelot by Robin Snyder. Now this is the last book in the trilogy following Emery Merlin. I adore the Emery Merlin trilogy. This one unfortunately wasn't as good as the first one or the second one in my opinion. Even though I felt a little bit like the second one was filler, I still laughed out loud a lot more in the second one than this one. But I am very happy with the conclusion to Emery's story. Since this is the third book, I'm going to pick up the first one now to just give you a summary of what this one is about. So I have here the copy of The Other Merlin, the first book in the trilogy. This follows Emery, who is the daughter of Merlin. Merlin has gone missing and there needs to be a court wizard. Of course, since Emery is a girl, they're not even considering her. They're looking to her brother, Emmett. And Emery knows best that her brother is not the one for this role. She is the one who knows how to do magic. Like, she's the man. We have Emery disguising herself as her brother and going into the court and performing as the court wizard, and everything that comes with that. It is so good. I just love all of these characters. Love Emery, Arthur, Lancelot. I think Robin Snyder did a great job telling this story. I loved it so much laughing. I couldn't put it down. Tabbed it. All three books I did tab a lot. I really recommend this series. Even though I said The New Camelot wasn't my favorite, still a solid trilogy all around. I highly recommend. So then I read both Legendborn and Bloodmarked by Tracy Deonn. The third book, Oathbound, is coming out soon in March, and I cannot wait to get to it. Legendborn is such a fresh take on the Arthurian legend. I love the magic system in this series. It is so good. I hope that we get a lot more books in this series. I heard that it will be 4 books. I don't care if it's more. I just love these characters so much. So a bit about this book. In this one, we are following Bree Matthews as she attends UNC Chapel Hill, and she gets infiltrated into the secret society that is all about King Arthur and its legends. I think that anyone would love these books, honestly. These are so good. The writing is so good. If you were like me and you were reading all the Shadowhunter books, you were reading all of Percy Jackson, Twilight, just picking up every popular YA book when you were in middle school and high school, you need to read this. This felt like I was picking up the Hunger Games again, or any of those. It had that old school YA feel, but with such a fresh take. I love following Bree. I love Selwyn and Nick. I am so happy with the love, the tension that we're getting in this one. So many positives with this story. The first one I did put in my favorites list, but the second one, Blood Marked, really loved it. And also look at this beautiful copy. This is the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition. Love it. This one I gave 4 stars instead of 5, just because this one I did have some pacing issues with. There was a lot in the middle that dragged, but regardless, the magic system, the plot, it makes up for it in my opinion. I cannot wait to read Oathbound. Alright, so moving to some of my priority books for 2025, I will say that I only read about, how many books? I only read a little over 30 books last year, so for this year I'm not pushing myself too much. I already know that this year is going to be a very busy one for me, so I set my goal to 15 books on Goodreads, just so I don't feel pressured to count the number of books I'm reading. I'm really prioritizing quality over quantity this year, and I think that I'll be a lot more happy with the outcome and pick up books that I actually do want to read. So I have here a stack of big books, but these are books that I've been wanting to read for a while, or they're books by, for example, Lex Croucher that I cannot wait to pick up. So I'll start with that one since I already spoiled it, and that is Not for the Faint of Heart by Lex Croucher. This is her new release, and it is once again just taking an old story and making it new and queer. This one, similar to Gwen and Art Are Not in Love, is another rom-com reimagining a legend. This one is reimagining the Robin Hood legend, and we've got a couple of women characters, and I can't wait to go on to the adventure with them and the wood, and I know that this one is going to be a good one. So on to a huge book that I have started in the past and never finished. That is The Pillars of the Earth by Ken Follett. This is a story that it seems to be about nothing. We're following a man as he's building a cathedral, but it's about so much. So I still have my bookmark in here actually. I got page 351, which may sound like a lot, but it's not with this book. But I do remember loving every word that I read. It felt like I was watching a period drama, and each chapter ended where you felt compelled to continue. So I'm not sure why I put this one down. I probably will have to, it's been a couple years now, so I probably will have to start from the beginning and go forward, but I can't wait to read this one. Like I said, we follow a man, which I don't even remember his name. That's a bad sign already. Quite a few characters in this one though. Let's see. Tom. Okay, so Tom is the builder, and he gets wrapped up into helping build this cathedral, and then you get to see all the characters surrounding it, a lot of politics, a lot of talk of religion in this one, and I can't wait. Keeping in the theme of big books, I have Lonesome Dove by Larry McMurtry. This is one I wanted to read since I was a teenager. I watched the Lonesome Dove miniseries with my grandfather, who really loves this story, and I just knew that that was one I would want to read for myself, for a bit of nostalgia. It's sentimental, and also to see if I actually like this story. I know that it will mean more to me as an adult than it ever would as a child or a teenager when I first was introduced to it. This is huge, so oh my goodness, how many? Already looking at 800, and is that the full thing? 858 pages? It would seem that that is the full story. So this one is a Western, and I can't think of a Western that I have read before, so I'm very excited to go on this adventure out on the frontier, and also just, I don't know, I've never read Larry McMurtry, but I just have a good feeling that he knows how to write characters and really explore the human condition. Another one that is a bit sentimental to me, because I was introduced to this story from a young age, that is The Thornbirds by Colleen McCullough. This one follows Maggie and her family in Australia. It's a saga, so it's going to span several years, decades of her life, and then I believe it goes on into children's lives and everything like that. It's been a while since I watched the miniseries, but like Lonesome Dove with My Grandfather, The Thornbirds was my grandmother's version of a good story. I do remember thinking it was weird, a little bit weird when I watched it, because if you don't know, the romance in this one is a priest and a girl that he watched grow up. So he doesn't fall, from what I remember at least, he doesn't fall in love with her while she is a minor, but it's just, I don't know. I will have to read it. This is one that I did start a few years ago. I read about 100 pages of, and the writing is just gorgeous. It is gorgeous. So I think I will love this one if I stick with it. I did put it down. Again, I'm not sure why. I think big books scare me, so I'll read 100 or so pages and then put it down and not pick it back up. But I do think that I'll like this one, and I am a sucker for sagas that really tug on the heartstrings. Last book that I'm prioritizing for 2025 is actually the end to one of my favorite series. I'm very nervous to read this one because I have not heard great things. It is The King of Crows by Libba Bray. So this is the fourth and final book to the Diviners series. I love the Diviners so much. I actually named my dog Mabel after Mabel in that story. I have been putting this book off since it was released. The reviews have not been the best, but I know that I want to finish it. I don't want to just not read it because it's not the best conclusion. So hopefully it won't be horrible. Hopefully it'll be good. So for those unfamiliar, The Diviners is set in 1920s US in New York. We follow a cast of characters, but specifically Evie O'Neill, who is a diviner. She can touch objects and extract information from them. So she is a very helpful resource to have, but at this point, at the start of the story, she doesn't really feel like that. She mainly uses her powers as like a party trick. So, and her parents are basically fed up with her. She's not the most obedient. She likes to have fun, so she is sent off to her uncle, his place in New York. He runs a museum. Those are some of my favorites from 2024 and the books that I'm looking to read in 2025. I would love to know down below what books were your favorite from 2024 and what books you're looking to read in 2025. So let me know. Thanks again for watching and have a nice day.